Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader, Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our two good friends, Anthony and Mike. Why did I say friends? We're here to break down Found Dugan issue number 1 and everything in between. Welcome to the stream, you guys. How are you doing?
Good. So good. Thanks for having us.
Yes, we've been like throwing out for like the last 2 weeks, you know, multiverse and spaces, and now it's nice to get together face to face and break things down. How have you guys been?
Pretty good.
Good, yeah.
Good, busy, tired, the usual. Yeah. As you drink your energy drink, that look like?
I have to, yeah. It's my BFG. I don't think they call them BFGs anymore, but
I forgot we talked about making coffee. But
the mega energy drink. So, hey, speaking of tired though, it's your first day of launch. How are you guys feeling? How's that going for you?
Good.
So nice. It's just crazy to finally have it happen. After all the things that we tried beforehand, it was like, it's time to do something. And so it's nice that it started off real nice. Yeah.
Yeah. We started it super early in the morning, and we managed to already see progress in the beginning. We already hit 10% on
Hey, congratulations. We have my good friend Garza L91 over on YouTube stopping in and say, where's Waldo? Found Dugan. The continuation we never knew we needed.
Perfect. So if you only knew.
Sitting at a strong goal already. I remember the first time meeting you guys, and you gave me the opportunity to read the first couple of pages, and man, it was a blast, and it's awesome to see you guys off to a strong start. But before we dive into that, let's begin with the basics. Who are you two, and how'd you guys get into creating comics?
You go.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm Anthony. Hi. We're in Ohio. We're near Cleveland. We're Clevelanders, so I feel like that tells you enough, whether good or bad, I guess.
It just depends on what side, right?
Right.
It's just the nasal vowels. That's what it tells you.
When it comes to comics, when I was younger, I read a lot of Tomb Raider and Witchblade, some good gay babes. I'd had to stay in my lane for a while, and I stopped reading comics for a while, and I came back to X-Men, and then I read Why the Last Man, and that made me realize, hey, this is actually a great story medium that I would probably do better at. I think I would have a lot more fun here, and that was a decade ago we read that, maybe more. So the last few years we really just privately we're putting a lot of time into working on Found ourselves and just making it for ourselves. So yeah, we have a lot of back catalog to dig through. I think
it blows my mind that we can have so many details about so many different fandoms in our heads already, but then still have the opportunity to have an entire universe existing in both of our heads that we sit there talking back and forth about.
It'll be fun.
Was this your guys' first break into comics, or did you do anything in the past?
Yeah, it was our second idea. I think technically we have the first one still sitting in our back pocket for an actual idea that we tried to work on. Yeah, and then we came up with a hold. We it started as kind of almost a quippy idea. We weren't actually intending it to be a more deep and elongated story, but eventually we kind of just molded it. I mean, it really just took its own life over time. It's actually barely resembles a lot of the same first thoughts, but at the same time it still has that initial core thought that we had.
Go ahead.
We created a whole different idea at first, and then the characters in Found are the character. It was meant to be a series of one-shots, and we just really liked the characters we made and developed them more. And it was well, we got to tell more than one issue of a story for these characters. So
it was trying to come up with little details for them would explode. We would be it would be cool if a character did this. But then what if they also did this, and what if that was related to this, and then it just turned into these characters that we wanted to tell about.
So what were some of those differences though, from some of the very first takes that you did on this to the finished product?
Well, Dugan himself actually started originally as a bartender in a spaceship.
The original idea was like an inn, in fantasy stories, but in space. So it was
like a tavern,
ship.
A spaceship tavern.
Yeah,
and it was called people that came in and out of it.
So
it was called In Ship.
Yeah.
That was actually like our running title for the longest time, because we like took that and turned it into a different idea about how they were like going to get this ship that was an in ship.
Yeah.
And then it just would kind of further expand from there to what it is now.
I'd say it was definitely during the pandemic, we just like had nothing else to do for a while but play with it.
Yeah.
So it was like right around then we were like, this is what it is now. And we've just kind of stuck with it from there. But it's weird because it's like we want to tell you everything. We can't wait to talk to you about it, but we can't tell everybody everything.
Even one point, one of the craziest things to me was when we talked about, we actually had like an entire idea at first that we had worked out, and we were like, all right, this is what like the story is going to be. And then like the one day we just thought, you know what if this person had this about them instead? And like we basically just rearranged a bunch of the pieces of the story that we had come up with, and we were like, you know, all of that makes so much more sense now, and that's what it needs.
It's nice when everything just starts to click.
That's so it's remarkable how much a small like minute detail I can like just change everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So what is Found Dugan now? Like, what would you guys say the story as it stands today? You know, what would be the concept of it?
It has a lot to do with found family. That's always kind of been that's why we changed it from In-Ship. These people that were like one-off adventurers visiting the tavern, we kind of have worked them into a found family instead. In our own experiences, just like what a found family means and those different relationships that makes, and how they influence things like your identity or your destiny, like things that you feel like you should do or can do. So it has a lot to do with things like that: identity, destiny, found family. At its core, I'd say that's what it's about.
What is for anyone listening? What is a found family?
So found family in my mind, it's like people that you can make the connections with that is family, but they're not blood related. Of course, like there is like the typical expected generational, you know, linear family. People have kids, those kids have kids, but like at the same time, I feel like there's also parts of us that create relationships with other people that also
won't go away.
Those bonds.
Yeah,
it's the same.
It's like beyond a choice at this point, you know. Like there's a handful of people in both of our lives and our lives together that we just know will always be there in their own unique way, and they are those unique relationships.
Me and Stokes, I get it. You don't have to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just kind of like taking a look at what those relationships are to us and working them into these different stories to tell with these characters. I think a great example, honestly, is a majority of our characters are named after ours or our friends' D&D characters that they've played or we've played.
That's awesome.
So we've kind of like, there's small little things like that where it's like, these are our found family and they're literally here with us in the story in this way too. So we stay pretty conscious of it throughout, and we like playing with how to continue pulling it in. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Bring our own found families into the fray as well.
Yeah.
So we have Garza over on YouTube. Sounds like a wholesome plot. I really like the way their panels and artwork are laid out. I feel like some comics try to do too much in small spaces. There's elegance in the simplicity of the read. So we have an image slideshow of your guys' interior pages and some of those covers, especially that cover variant too. Oh man, that thing is gorgeous. So we have
shout out Sebastian.
right next to us. So dude, I love the art in this. Mike, what was some of your direction and influences? You know, with this being your first comic that you drew, like, you know, how was that for you?
Pretty interesting. I mean, it's been wild because, you know, for the longest time, I started reading comics like as a kid with like Sonic the Hedgehog. That was like my thing. We would go to the convenience store and get Sonic the Hedgehog comics, and I would read those. And then like, you know, it went to manga, and then it kind of progressed into comics, you know, back into comics in that way. It's really hard to say for sure, like exactly a good influence behind it. I mean, fantasy, obviously, like fantasy D&D. I mean, really a lot of the things that we even really like came up with for our ideas and found come through in like the art. I really just try to just do what comes out. I mean,
I've always liked seeing your art evolve, because I feel like you take a little bit from everything you like. I feel like as soon as something strikes you, you kind of figure out something new from what they did.
Like I mean, you know, things like in manga, like there's like little heads sometimes that'll like be like indicative of like characters and stuff, and like I like throwing little stuff like that in.
Oh, like the little chibi dudes?
Yeah.
So
that's one little example we'll be playing with.
On that variant cover, though, it's really interesting. Is that Dugan and Darian? I know backstage we were talking a little bit about those characters in particular. Can you give us a little bit more about who they are and their relationship?
Yeah, so Dugan and Darren, is my chair super squeaky? Sorry.
Yeah. You sound like official, though. You know, it has that level of like, you know, like
I've been working all day, rocking along. So it's we really wanted to play with the idea of like a mentor, like someone, like again, found family. It's not your family, not your teacher, but someone that you and them choose to like take this relationship on. And we always knew we wanted our main character to be closer to our age, not like a kid like learning and having that typical relationship. So it's small things like that are like making him our age and what it means to lose that mentor, like taking it to a different level. We kind of play with things along their relationship like that. There's we'll get into it a bit in a few later issues as well, but it's definitely, Darren is an adventurer and he became the wielder of a special weapon. It's called the mithril hammer. This is kind of like a tradition, like in the Dwarven culture. Mithril is like a precious metal in a unique way where certain members of the Dwarven culture can manipulate it. So we'll dig into the hammer eventually, you'll see. But one day, Dugan, the place that Found Dugan #1 takes place is him returning back home to Thru, and it's this trade hub asteroid, so adventurers come and go through there. And there's a little bit of a history where the two of them met being attacked by like the same kind of thieves in a way, and they kind of team up and take care of things. And then Darren takes him on as an apprentice. So this is about like 15 years ago or so. So now we are here after he's like been his sidekick for so long and under him with this like role in his culture as well. So we're kind of blending a lot of things in what that relationship means to Dugan moving forward. Yeah.
So, you know, I asked Mike this question, but let me spin it around for you too. You know, with this being your first like type of script that you've written, you know, how was that for you? What type of influences did you draw from when you were creating your side of the story?
I come from writing like fantasy short stories mostly. When it comes to what influences me in scripting with a comic, it's really all over the place.
I was gonna say Final Fantasy. You know, that mithril, like it has me pinging the Final Fantasy vibe.
Well, it was like perfect timing that Rings of Power came out right when we were gonna launch our campaign. We were like, oh, mithril, here we go. And then we were just playing Kingdom Hearts the other day, and we were like, yeah, that's a great example. Is like we try to find our own unique way to explain what this is in our world and create like a whole new world with that. But things like Saga, Cowboy Bebop, X-Men is a huge influence for me. Got my Storm shirt right now. Yeah, perfect.
I'm wearing a Death Metal shirt.
And D&D clearly is a huge influence for us. But we kind of play with the freedom of D&D a little, I feel, in how we want to tell our story. There's a bit rooted in that. When it comes to the other things, we are all over the place. I mean, we literally we read every day, whether it's a comic or manga. We watch an episode of something every day. We got lunch together, and that's like it. So we get one episode of something in. But it's all over the place. Brian K. Vaughan is definitely a icon for me. He's my hero. He's literally from like 15 minutes away where we are right now. So,
really?
So it's not even like 15 minutes. It's like a 10-minute drive from here. Yeah.
So when I go,
so that's like an hour and 40 for me, right?
Right. Yeah. So when we go to the comic shop here, it's just kind of like picking up the aura. I'm like, he was here before. Okay, this can work.
Yeah.
We can do this.
I think it is the same comic shop that he used to go to. Yeah.
So yeah, I know you guys touched base upon Garza asking about D&D, but he also did say the hammer looks dope. I thought the hammer design was really awesome as well. We have Sarah from Glitch Comics stopping in to say late, but wanted to stop in and say hi. And then Garza stopping in after work as well. Hope you guys had a good shift at work. For anyone that's watching, here is the pre-launch, or excuse me, you guys are live today, so here is the link to the actual campaign. We're going to be taking a look at it in just a few seconds. So Anthony, that hammer has a really awesome design to it. You know, it looks like it's a really important aspect of the story. Give us a little bit more about it.
So in Dwarven culture, mithril is like a precious special metal to them. It's like rooted in literally their planet where they live. There's a group of dwarves that have it in their blood, mithril. They're able to manipulate mithril in a unique way. But there's always a wielder of the hammer. That's kind of like what's been passed down through their society. There's a wielder of that special hammer. And Darren was an adventurer, but took on this role now. So like in the pages that you've seen, that's a cargo transport that he is fulfilling his role for, transporting safely, and then things happen. Yeah, the hammer is just like a symbol of their society and where they feel that they are in space. It's like a symbol of their traditions, and it's about what they do in space and what it means for them. So there's always been someone with that hammer out there representing, yeah.
We have Garza over on YouTube. If I pledge $70 without a reward, will you all agree to write coding to a comic? Hey, get yourself in the comic.
I would love to. That's fantastic.
Let's speaking of that though, let's go ahead. Let's check out the Kickstarter and let's see what we're campaigning for. So we are looking at Found Dugan issue 1, a space fantasy comic. Uprooted against his mentor's unresolved murder, Dugan's emotions blur his path to closure. Your favorite new fantasy saga is here. Currently at $374 of a $2,500 goal with 11 backers and 31 days to go. Congratulations again on killing it your first day. You guys are doing awesome.
Thank you.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, well, I haven't started the video.
Oh, yeah, you started the video. Yes. I've just been over here just not making sounds on purpose.
He's like not breathing. He's like, can I breathe yet? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
no, so what's some of the things you guys are doing that's leading to this?
That's what?
What are some of the things that you're doing that's leading to the success of this on your first day?
I mean, I definitely feel like just keeping everybody in the know. I think communication is really important, and just being present, I think, plays a big role. I think a lot of people think you could just put that tweet out and kind of put your phone down and move on, but actually being like present in your community and with the people around that want to engage with you. We also have a lot of amazing friends that have kind of been waiting for us to do this too. So I feel like a large portion of that is probably with like the addendum, it's about time. So
All right, let's go. Let's check out this video. Everyone that is hanging out with us, here is the link to check it out with us. If you are unable to back, word of mouth is 100% free. Stumbling on words today. Feel free to share this on Facebook or Twitter. You might have a friend who would absolutely love this story. I had the chance to check out the preview myself, and it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and check out this video and see what it's all about. Now you can't breathe.
That literally looks like it was me. Hello, and welcome to the campaign page for Found Dugan #1. We are the co-creators of Found. I'm Anthony Mullins, the writer.
And I am the artist, Mastefka.
Found is a passion project that we've had for the last 5 years or so. We put a lot of time and effort into creating this world and the characters in it and the kind of stories that we want to tell. It's an ongoing space fantasy series that has a lot to do with identity and destiny. And
your wall looks a lot more blue in this.
Found family. It does. That's really weird. Affect you and your choices.
It's probably because like the natural light versus like the light, you know?
Yeah.
As he returns home after the loss of his mentor.
He's gonna reunite with a couple of his old friends and try to figure out what the path ahead looks like for him. There's a little bit of mystery about what happened to his mentor, and he would like to do something about it, but we'll see if he can. So with as long as we said development found, we're excited about everything about it.
Well,
but we just wanted to point out a few cool things that you can expect to see in Found Dugan #1. A serious battle on the spaceship.
A trade hub on an asteroid.
A mithril hammer with mystical properties. A fun pink girl that does transmutation magic.
An Orkimbo mechanic.
Bar fights. And so much more. Is this cool? Is this working like I want it to?
Sure.
And so we hope you had a great time checking out our campaign. We'll enjoy all of our rewards, including a special variant in print by our dear friend Sebastian Parise. And we look forward to you
Sebastian
joining the
killed
family.
that. Like, I love it.
It's so good.
What's that noise? Did you squawk?
can you hear us?
Oh, dude, yo, Garza, you absolute mad lad.
Claps in the chat. Claps in the chat.
Oh my god, dude.
Yes.
Almost doubled the. Let's
Wait,
go.
Is this to draw Cody though?
You can't. What? You gotta get my good side. I got a dad gut. You gotta draw me with at least a 6-pack, at least. And we got Sarah, a big fan of comedy and Kickstarter videos. I am too. It's like it adds that whole level of like wholesomeness to it.
When we were thinking about it, we were like, I'm just not good with camera and being serious. I can't be an actor in any way. I'm just too goofy. Like that little clip at the end, there's probably like 20 minutes of wild sounds I've made.
There is. I put the video together. I can attest to the fact that there is tons of material.
We considered a blooper stretch goal. We'll see what happens, but
Oh, Garza. Hey, thank you, Garza, once again. $70 pledge to draw Cody. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much. Absolute mad lad. So if you're a fan of D&D, Cowboy Bebop, X-Men, or Saga, anything fantasy, action, adventure, drama, or involving space, then you should definitely keep scrolling. The story so far, Found is a space fantasy comic series exploring themes of identity, destiny, and found family. Found Dugan issue 1 is a 30-plus page introduction to a 3-issue arc that will begin to unravel the Found universe. So 3 issues, okay. Let's go. Are the other 2 looking to be 30-page as well?
that's our plan. We know it could be a little bit of a big aim, but we know how much we want to happen in our stories. I feel like we kind of already have an idea, and we don't want to jip anything that should be there. So yeah.
Because again, I mean, like we say in the beginning there, it's a 3-issue arc that's actually meant to be basically an introduction to the grand scheme of things, which is Found.
So we'd originally had it laid out to introduce Dugan is one of 3 main protagonists technically, and we were going to kind of roll that out in tandem, but we just thought the story kind of flows a little smoother to take our time with each character and let it kind of sit with them and show why it matters a little more. So
we slowed down a lot of the pacing of the beginning because
what
we had originally intended was like even this almost is like kind of throw yourself in, but it's throw yourself in so that you know like where Dugan's at for his story.
Yeah.
But like originally it was even more throwing yourself kind of in the water. So I'm glad that we slowed down.
We have a lot of little things that come up in like this first issue, but throughout all 3 that kind of lend to the grander story, but not blatantly yet. So we're pretty excited for people to kind of catch some little things and hopefully be able to look back later on and be like, oh, like this actually mattered, you know? Like small things. We're playing with the big world and we don't want to just like info dump an entire world on you. So yeah.
We have Garza, super enjoyable interview, very interesting comic. First one that's caught my interest, but I'm a picky person. Best of luck to y'all. Can't wait to see the issue. Good job for Cody as the guest. Let's go. Let's go. Mike, I hope you're ready. These tattoos, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have carpal tunnel. Gotta get ready for it. Get a brace.
He's just like, we're gonna kill him off fast. Don't worry. So here's that variant again by Sebastian, and I love this. This is gorgeous. What was some of your like? Did you give him much inspiration or like direction, like for like what you wanted, or did he just kind of go ham on it?
You know, we gave him complete control over the idea if he wanted, if he like had an idea, but we were like, but here's our thought. But he actually ended up saying like, no, you know what, I do like your thought about it, and really the entire essence of what we had described to him comes through.
Yeah. We wanted it to be like they were together but distant, and we feel like he really captured that really well by using the hammer like that. And I mean, back when all I did was be on X-Men Twitter, I found him and I've been obsessed with his art for years. So this is like a dream come true for me, honestly.
We have Layla George over on YouTube. Super cool artwork in this. Hey. Sarah's saying go hammer on it.
Go hammer on it, yeah.
So right here is it contains previous versions of a few of the first pages of Found Dugan issue 1. These pages are currently being redone and improved. So here's a look at some of those. So Mike, you know, what's going into some of this revision? Are you like taking any art classes? Did you like do a little bit of like a study and then come back to it, you know?
So not art classes. It's just literally actually putting in the effort. No, when we first did those, like the original draft version, it was on a time crunch that we kind of imposed on ourselves at the time.
Yeah, we had a bit of a deadline that...
And we did not prepare for that like we did now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed like this one right here, like the wall's a little bit burned, but like you're detailing it a little bit more.
So we submitted that to something, and then after the fact we looked at it and we were like, well, that is just a wall, so we probably shouldn't expect anything.
Yeah, so originally I actually, in that old version, the ship that shows up as the Foundling, that you'd have seen in like our preview pages originally, was made from a model that I made in Blender, just real rough, in like my first time ever using Blender. I barely know what I'm doing now, but I've actually managed to put something together. So a lot of that imagery in the improved work in progress is using the backgrounds that I put together for reference for the actual ship.
So it'd be nice through October to really pump that out there instead and let everyone see that like what it actually will be.
It's just like a really wild experience to
you
throw myself into
Blender. You felt more happy with like this
so much
chance
more.
to do it this way. Like
feels a lot better.
Yeah.
So here is some of the interiors. We see Dugan going hammer, for lack of a better word. Right. And who's this creature? It looks like there's going to be some sort of like mystical creatures in this, or?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna keep him a little bit of a mystery right now. But yeah, he is a species, a race in our world, and yeah, he's trying to steal some shit. That's the best I can tell you from these pages.
I think our range of characters is going to vary a lot.
It's been really fun to play with fantasy and sci-fi and kind of find an amalgam of the two.
Yeah. It's been interesting with like the we've been coming up with this story for so long, and then there's,
for example, A here, pink girl A here. She's kind of rooted in the idea of a tiefling from D&D, but not necessarily. Like we kind of doodled up some ideas, didn't really realize we might have been thinking of a tiefling, and then kind of circle back
What's
to
the
that.
Tiefling? I've
Man, I can't wait to play D&D with you someday. We gotta set it up.
It's an infernal human class where like they get touched by the infernal realm and they're like kind of like demon-y, but they are, but they're not.
Yeah.
So it's like vibes.
Yeah.
I feel like that'll be your first race that you play in D&D stuff.
Yeah, now that you know. Yeah, it is giving very Cody, actually.
Now, here's a really interesting thing too, though. Found radio. So, give us a little bit more about this. Are you having some sort of musical aspect to your comic?
So Mike does make music himself a bit, but that's not where we're at yet with it. Literally the years that we've played with this, there's been so much music that's inspired it along the way, and so many playlists that we've made. Just I mean, we would put on music for hours and just be working on the world of Found, and like a ton of those songs have carried through till now even. So it's kind of just our way to give a little shout out to the things that inspired us along the way. I think we visualize a lot of these scenes, and when we talk about them together from a place more like film, just to like better capture the conversation that we're having. And music is always a part of that for us too. So I feel like this is our way to kind of bridge that gap and use a new way with the medium. Each issue will have like that little art piece that we're going to do that kind of is within the world of Found, but giving you like a little taste of something different from outside the issue. And we're going to shout out the songs that really work for that issue. Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. I always like that extra layer of like being immersed within the comic, because, the medium itself, the comic itself, you're reading it, you're touching the book in your hand, but music adds that like different layer that you can't get from like a physical book.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
We play music when we read all the time, and it's like, well, we can't put out a comic and not tell people what to listen to for it. Like, and I think we've just been so excited about those songs specifically. We were like, we can't wait till we put this out. Let's just put the link out now and let people hear it.
Plus, too, I mean, being able to like include music, it adds another sensory input to the experience that like you can supply yourself, but like, coming from the person, like the people that create it might also kind of help give you that like little bit of like a window into like, what drew them to the feel of it all.
Yeah. Like it's, like, what is it? Like scent and music, like unlock parts of your memory that like other things like necessarily can't. Like, so I always think it's really interesting.
We should make our QR code scratch and sniff, is what you're saying? Add a little scratch and sniff.
A surprise scent, like here you go.
It smells like paper.
So let's go ahead and scroll through some of these pledge goals. Everyone, right there is the link once again to check it out with us. For $6, you're going to get the PDF of Found Dugan issue 1. We have Sarah real quick. Music's so important to the creative process. Also great for D&D character playlist. To be honest, absolutely, yeah. So at $16 or more, you're going to get the basics, which is going to be Found Dugan issue 1 print copy. Mentioned in the thank you page, drink recipe bookmark. Give us a little bit about that.
So we have our friend Connor Byers. He's also Cleveland local. He's huge in the bar scene out here, and we just this is a great example of just what we want to do with that too, like akin to shouting out the music that inspired us, like people in our lives that can contribute something. And it's just been we worked with him a little bit. We're gonna keep working a little bit too on some more fun ideas with it, but in issue 1 they go to a bar and it's 3 friends reuniting and the drinks that they normally have. So a little bookmark for safekeeping.
That's so cool, though.
And they have their drink recipes on it. Yeah.
That's so cool. And then you get the digital wallpaper, cover A textless, and then free shipping. So free shipping for everything physical, or
everything physical, baby.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
But I'll avoid that hassle.
For digital, though.
Yeah. They shipping on digital.
That was a joke. We're not actually doing that.
I know.
As I was laughing about it, I was like, wait, hold on.
Wait, is he serious? Yeah, anytime you open up this email, you gotta send us $5. So at $20 or more, we're gonna get the basics, but we're gonna get the variant cover. So I think that's really cool too. That's the $4 more. So what was your guys' direction for doing it so cheaply? I think that's such a great price for your variant.
Yeah, we really wanted to do a good job of balancing everything, just with what we know we need, what we hope to get, and what we want to do with it. We both come from a mindfulness with like marketing and retail and things like that, and we know what bothers us, so we just tried to avoid that. We were like, what do we not want?
Definitely wanted like his art as well to be like attainable.
Yeah.
I mean, for him to be so cool about doing it for us, and, like, worked with us with it and everything. We wanted to be able to give it to people just as easily and know that it would like still benefit him too.
No, that is awesome. And then for $10 more, you're going to get the basics combo pack. So you're going to get issue 1 and then the variant cover as well, plus all the other rewards too. speaking of that other reward, we have Sarah saying the drink recipe is such a neat and unique idea. I'd probably lean more towards tea blends, but still, hey, maybe that's an idea for you too, you know? Hey.
Yeah.
That thought does come to mind.
Funny enough,
really cool,
I do
that
too.
is really cool.
But
We also have Pledge 30 or more, the basics plus sticker. So you get a 3 sticker set, which is going to be right here. And then
we're like sticker fanatics, so
yeah, and this is so cool. I love how like it's all in size too. Like this hammer is as big as Dugan, like in the comic too. Right. I thought that was awesome.
Right. Yep.
And then we have at $40 or more art prints combo deal. So give us a little bit about the prints. Is that down below? Like the image of the prints?
Up a little. Oh, so we didn't include the images here yet, at least.
It'll be the 2 covers that are shown like towards the top.
Okay.
Though. So Sebastian's and the one that I did. Yeah.
It's a really interesting situation with this actually, because we have experience with all of the items that are rewards from previous endeavors that we've done, and it kind of hit us last minute, like, oh, we don't really have like sample things of this. Like the sample things we have are from the previous projects that we've done things with. So it's like, we
just can't show it.
But it's at least on our end, we know we got it on lockdown. At least already. Just,
So at 50 or more, you're going to get a custom character sketch. So it's going to be one of the 5 main characters of Found Dugan, issue 1 in a pose of your choice, done by Mike himself. And then you're going to also get, it'll be a 5x7 print issue of a copy of the physical of issue 1, and then everything listed below. At 60 or more is Found Family. So give us a little bit about this tier.
This is one of everything, one of every physical thing that we have. We know we're going to want to collect it all, so we were like, hey, join us, join the Found Family and get it all with us. I mean, it's all really cool stuff, so, you know. I mean, why would you not want to see Sebastian's art print on your wall? I mean, it's beautiful.
And then at 70 or more, Found You. So yourself drawn into the comic, you provide 3 reference images and we'll draw you into the Found Universe doppelganger in one of our scenes. So any idea on what type of scene it's going to look like, or, what people can expect?
So that's kind of the fun part about like our setting for the story is, since it's at Through, this trade hub space asteroid, there's a lot of places there.
Yeah.
There's going to be all kinds of people that are like walking around and different things and stuff happening in the background. Not in such a way like these cameos I want to make obviously the people that do it important, so they won't be like tiny in the background.
Yeah, we're not doing stick figures in the background, but no. You're not necessarily joining
party.
Yeah. But
maybe drinking in the corner with them at the party.
Yeah. We have a lot of like Sid from above. He's or from below on the page, I guess now. But he's a mechanic with a shop, so we got a few workers there. We have a few unique locations we'll be going to, like the bar we said. We have a select few characters in the bar already that are characters that need a face, so they're just kind of waiting.
And who knows who may need saving down the road.
Right.
Yeah. And then at 100 or more, the Found billboard. So a half-page ad space is your real estate. Promote what you want with it. You create the ad however you please and provide it to us. We'll take care of the rest. So anything goes with this type of ad, or like any sort of limitations?
Just about. I mean,
I'd say
I definitely don't think it has to be comic related. Like if somebody wants to put an ad in for,
it's more about avoiding the X rating, probably, is all.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean, with the shout out, with the music, like we're doing and stuff too, it just kind of feels like if this feels like the space you want to be in, here it is for you. There's too many cool things out there for us to pick ourselves, so you guys gotta tell us you want it, you know?
And then here's a little bit about the creators themselves, but we've already broken that down a little bit earlier before we got interrupted by The Sims. Now, with that being said, does this cover the Kickstarter in its entirety?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and go back to our previous screen. And so while we're on this subject, what would you guys like to say to anyone who might be on the fence about backing this campaign after kind of taking an in-depth look at it and breaking down the tiers?
5 years of talking back and forth and confirming that the ideas that like we have and that we know that we want to do, we want to do it, and there's not much stopping us, and it would be so much help.
We are
be interested in helping.
We're like committed to nothing but this. This is the thing that we have the most commitment to in our lives, I'd say. We just haven't had the opportunity to put it in our crosshairs in that way that we want to. So there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it kind of feels like working with this campaign, this is the way to do it for us. I would say if you're on the fence, we have a lot more ahead. There's a lot to the story. It goes pretty deep, and there's a lot of cool stuff ahead. I mean, like I said, if you liked any of those things up above in that first sentence of the campaign page, then you got to be into it. But if you didn't like any of that, then I understand if this isn't for you.
We actually have my girlfriend stopping in over on Twitch. I'm sorry, I just want to build houses.
It's okay.
We're trying to build comics here.
Sim's house, and we're gonna burn it down later now. Yeah.
He's coming for you. No, with that being said, thank you guys for coming on the show. It's awesome to finally get you on here, get you on the air, break things down with you. And this was such an awesome experience. Before we go, though, one second, I'm dropping. Are you online again?
Back to the Sims already.
Did you go online again? Liv. Oh, I don't know why I'm dropping frames so bad. That makes no sense.
Just because your sim has to poop, they can wait a minute.
This is so wild.
Oh wait, it's back. Someone said it's back.
Oh, we're back. I don't know. Maybe there might. I'm wondering if something's going on with my internet. This is too many. No. Hey, Solid. This is everybody. The Sims just like straight butchered the stream. I don't know. How do you talk like a Sim? Just like whatever that is. Killed my stream.
Yeah. Now she has to come on the stream for an hour talking in Simish. Is that right? Is that the link?
So let's on the show, as much as it's a podcast where we break down you and your book, it's a nice platform for anyone who might be new or even anyone who might be experiencing the scene and maybe they're just struggling to get going. So with that being said, for anyone out there who is like trying to get started but just can't, what type of advice would you offer them to help them just get motivated to go?
I'd say having not started yet can make it feel really daunting, but a half hour is time that you weren't taking already. So as long as you just take a little bit of time every day should be your goal. It doesn't have to be this grand setting aside, like I need to take today off and have all day to get this going. Like just get it going and it'll become nature. It'll become part of your routine and it'll be something you'll want to do. You'll be dying to get that time in and you know that you can because you've learned how to make the time. So
something that I told my brother when I had to give him like a good piece of advice about stuff was that things are always hard until they're not hard anymore. And it's just the idea that like
goes hand in hand, really.
You do have to push past that because like, I mean, in the face of so many things, I mean, you still do it because it's there inside and it wants to come out. So, you take and you push through those opportunities because once you push through and it is hard to do, then eventually it's going to be easy because you've done it.
No, that makes sense. For me, even like with my personal experience, when I first started doing this, like it was daunting in the beginning. I would spend like 2 hours trying to get things set up. I was nervous. There was so much work to do and I just felt overwhelmed. And I'm at a point now where I've done it and you just get in that routine of just doing it and doing it. And after like 21 days, it becomes a habit. So like that's something too, eventually your mind is going to get tricked into doing it.
Yeah, there have been things that we've got that we get done now that, I mean, was maybe a few weeks ago, he said this used to take so much longer to get through. Like we've just streamlined the process and we've learned so much. I mean, you know, too, being like a self-learned, like doing this yourself and putting that time and effort in, it really can count when it comes to something like this, you know?
No, absolutely. And with that being said, guys, it is the day before New Comic Book Day. Treat yourself to a awesome book and make sure it is Found Dugan issue 1. Sorry for all the stream mishaps. The Sims are at the gates. They are with their pitchforks. They're ready to take us down. We don't have much longer before they're breaking and storming down. So we need to wrap things up. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Garza, thank you so much for the pledge and getting me drawn into the comic as well. That was like mind blowing. I appreciate that so much. Yeah. And thank you too for coming on and breaking this down for us, guys.
Yes, thank you for having us. Can't wait to see you next time.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope everyone is having an awesome Tuesday night, but most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.